Hello! Happy Mindful Monday! So today is a little bit different than what we've been doing. Cameras switched. So I'm going to talk a little bit about movement meditation. Now there's a whole group of kind of practices in the United States that began as kind of meditative movement. Yoga is probably the most prevalent. Now there's also forms of martial arts, there's Tai Chi, and then, if you go through it, really any kind of movement that you're doing can be kind of transformed into a movement meditation. So like if you are doing any activity, if you're doing the dishes mindfully. So it's similar to like in walking meditation, where that kind of started out as monks who wanted to continue their meditative practice while they were moving from one place to another. So they came up with ways to walk mindfully, or ways to continue their meditation off of their meditation cushion. And that is part of the importance of movement meditation. There's also this mind-body connection I'm sure you've heard about if you've taken yoga classes or anything like that. And that can be kind of jump-started by movement meditation because you're noticing a connection between your body and your mind. And this can be started kind of with breathing meditation because you're feeling the movement that your breath is creating in your body, and you notice how that calms your mind. Movement meditations just take this a step further. So today I'm just going to show you two pretty basic yoga poses. You will find these in almost every yoga class. And they are meant to be meditative poses. So one of them is child's pose. One of them is Savasana, the resting pose at the end of your yoga practice. And there's different variations on them. And if these are difficult for you to do, or you need like a modified pose, please just contact me at info@healingsolutionsInc.com. I would be happy to help anybody with anything they need. But these, if you have done a lot of yoga, then you'll know these. But they're extremely useful for meditation. So Savasana is really a typical in almost every yoga class. I don't think I've been to one that doesn't at least end with Savasana, and a lot of them begin this way as well. So you're basically laying in anatomical position. So if you have a yoga mat, your feet are going to be about the width of the mat. This is about shoulder width, pretty close. Your head comfortably straight forward, arms out at about 45 degrees, palms up, and just in proper alignment for your spine. Sometimes this can be uncomfortable for people that have like a lower back issue or something like that. You are welcome to bring your knees up. That relieves pressure on the lower back. You can also, like in Restorative Yoga, set up a prop so that, or like I use a chair sometimes to put your feet up on the chair so that your knees are at 90 degrees. This is really good for things like your blood pressure. It's super good for your body. And in our society, we're pushed to kind of go, be productive. And we have this idea that sleeping and rest and relaxation are kind of the same thing. Savasana is really good for helping you relax. We don't do that very well all the time. So if you're just laying in anatomical position, and then you're invited to kind of scan your body, notice anywhere where there's tense or tight muscles, and release those. So when you breathe in, search your body for tenseness. When you breathe out, let that go. Breathe in, notice any tense part of your body. And when you breathe out, let that tightness go. And you do that over and over. And like when I lead a Savasana in a class, I go from head to toe and cue, your shoulders, arms, and hands are relaxed. Your shoulders, arms, and hands are relaxed. Your shoulders, arms, and hands are relaxed. So if you go through the body parts and tell yourself that, it helps you to physically relax them. And I do that from head to toe. So that is one very common, very meditative pose that occurs at the end of most yoga classes. When I was trained for my yoga teacher training, we did that at the beginning and the end. And sometimes you, for a second, like through the first extensive flow, then you would do that for a little bit before you move into the next part of the yoga class. The next one that I'm going to show you is child's pose. You have also probably seen this if you've taken any yoga classes. And again, there's a few variations for different issues that you may have. Now, child's pose is a really good break in between, and it's a good way to notice how something you have just done feels in your body, and it's a good to relax. It opens up between the shoulder blades. It's a good stretch, and it really just invites you to notice how whatever you just did, no matter how exertive it was, feels in your body. So you can sit on your knees. If this is too difficult for you, you can kind of spread them out in Restorative Yoga. And if you have lower mobility in your lower back or hips, you can get, I just have couch cushions here for support, yoga bolsters, you can roll up blankets, any of that. And then you go forward. So that is the adaptive pose. You just breathe. This is good for opening up the ribs
between the shoulder blades. You're on a slight decline, so it helps blood get to the brain. And it really, in a stress environment, or when it's difficult,
you've done some difficulty, that is really good for kind of countering that. So you can breathe deep and feel your body, creating that mind-body connection and creating a space for you to feel your body. Something that we don't always get to do in our everyday lives. So there's many different types of yoga. That's restorative, yin, both really good for if you want to start out with a meditative yoga practice. I also love flow for meditative yoga practice, but I worked up to that. So like your vinyasa, hatha, you get to the point where all movement, where you're mindful in your body, is meditative. I also took Aikido, and that is a really great kind of movement meditative practice. Tai Chi is really great for it. Like I said before, there's Qigong, there's just tons. And the more you practice, the more you're able to do movement meditation through any of your normal daily practices. It becomes natural when you're walking from one place to another. It helps with focus and concentration, so when you get really good at it, it helps like your mindfulness while you're driving and noticing what's going on around you. So I would definitely recommend trying in any of your movement classes to be present and aware of what's going on. It's a good practice. So thank you for being here. Happy Mindful Monday. I hope your week is amazing, and I'll see you next week. Bye.